By God's grace, I'm going to be running for the 2027 election. Fún ipò gómìnà in 2027. And when people say that, would you run again after I lost to Babajide Sanwo-Olu? No, I did not lose to Babajide Sanwo-Olu. INEC announced the result, but the people know the real result. How do you win election and the whole state is quiet? Nobody is celebrating. And you won with 700,000 people. Where are those 700,000 people? They're not dancing in the street. We know the violence that they use. We know the intimidation. We know the political road that they brought out. Road that follows the election timetable. Eh? Road that election will be on Monday. They're going to do it on Monday. Then they move the election. Then will move with the election. There's something people don't know. You see, the name Rhodes, the original meaning was Orubi. Do you understand? Rhodes, that's my family name. Rhodes was Orubi. Orubi. So when the British came, there was something they did, what is called a transliteration. Syntax. So they take the sound of a name and give the English name that is similar in sound. So Rhodes, Ogumade Davis. So you see a lot of Lagos families, especially the ones that they sent to Catholic school or sent to school and had any sort of Ogun or any um, traditional deity or anything in their name. There was a transliteration that happened. I'm telling you all this story. Gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo sọ is simply to let you know that when Oro was done properly by our leaders, by our kings, by our traditional rulers, it was done in the interest of the people. It was done to cleanse the land. But this Oro of modern day is only done when they want to do Occupy Nigeria. It's only done when it's like, somebody else wants to win office. With all the suffering, from Lagos Island to Ekpe to Badagry, Gbogbo Yoruba are shouting, Egbin power, Egbin power. We have not seen Oro come out to help us cleanse the land and bring in prosperity. But if there's election tomorrow, we hear, Oro is going to happen tomorrow. Politics is making our traditional institutions lose their value. Because your children are going to look at the history and see that there is now political Oro that moves with INEC timetable. Now, how would your children respect that traditional institution in 20 years' time? Then tomorrow we'll say our children don't respect culture. They don't respect culture. But see what the custodians of our culture are using our culture to do. And this is the problem, and it goes back to Ifa, where before our kings were produced by Ifa. So the king is not loyal to a politician. He's loyal to Ifa that put him in. And Ifa will be loyal. Ifa and that king are in the interest of the people. Because the question that you ask is, who will be the best king for the people? And Ifa will bring it out. But now, I don't know. Maybe you know. I don't know. I don't know how many kings in Southwest now are produced by Ifa. That is why when politicians cough, everybody move. And it should not be like that. The king should be able to call the politician to order and say, no, my people will not like this thing that you are doing. My people are not benefiting from this thing you are doing. So, I'm going to run by God's grace. God will strengthen me. God will keep all of us by along. And um, in terms of the party, I know that in the press they are reading a lot of things, but politics is a contact sport. There's a lot of interest. There's always interest. People always clash. But as for me, Labour Party and National, our issue is very small, and we are in court. We are not fighting. You don't hear that took uh, somebody took a chair to come and start beating somebody in National Secretariat. They have gone to court. After Supreme Court, it has finished. In Labour Party in Lagos, we are one. No. There's no fight in Labour Party Lagos. I was with my state chairman on Saturday, where we hosted all the women in our party structure, all the women leaders from all the wards in Lagos State. We hosted all of them at the party secretariat because this week, as you know, is International Women's Day. So we did that to start celebrating our women. So they were very courageous in the 2023 election. So for me, in terms of problem in Labour Party, I don't. It's the most peaceful party among the big three that we have in Nigeria today. eh? Nobody is bringing DSS to be chasing people up and down. And then nobody is sending people thugs with chair to go and be beating elders at BOT meeting. So we are peaceful. We are peaceful. We are fine. Thank you. I want, by God's grace, I'll create a traditional institution where our kings, our elders will play a bigger role in policy making and governance. It's not just uh, when it's time for festival or when it's time to just come and greet and hail the governor or hail the president. No, you must have a say in the development that's coming to their local governments. They must have a say in the priority of development that's coming to their local government. You cannot just say you want to just build road. Ah, what consultation have you done with the king in that community? What consultation have you done with the community elders? You might want to build road, but it's school that they want. You might want to build school, but it's farm that they want. You have to carry them along. There must be just the way you see that they say Lagos State has a GAC. Which traditional ruler has a representative in that GAC? Think about it. That GAC, 75% of them are not from Lagos. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. When you move Baba Olusi, you remove maybe another 3 or 4 people. Why should the Oba of Lagos not have a representative in that GAC? You can say that, okay, it's because it's a political thing. But the Governor's Advisory Council should not have to be a political thing. Because you should be to advise the government. Eh? So why should it be only a group of people that can advise the government? You understand what I'm saying? So those are some of the things that I feel will be better because the government will tell you that they are doing work, but people are not feeling it. A lot of people are not feeling it. Why are they not feeling it? Because they were not carried along. There is not enough consultation. They will announce, oh, we want to do, we are going to put this plan in one hall, and anybody that wants to put mouth in the matter should come to that hall and put their input. That is what they call community consultation. Community consultation has to be more than that. It's from the grassroots of the people that are going to do it. And then also, if we have traditional elders, traditional rulers involved closer with government, there are many things that should not happen. For instance, the way that they will just steal indigenous people's land. Dangote came out and said that he used 100 million to buy the land that he got in Bedreleki. Before that, the indigenes did not know that that's how much they used to buy their land. They did not benefit from that money. You cannot look at Ibejileke and say that the time that they collected that money, improvement happened in their community. The hospital there is over 20 years old. $100 million is a lot of money. Even if you want to chop that money, you will take $30 million and say you are spending it on infrastructure of Ibejileke, schools, hospital, roads, inner roads. The people will feel it. If Dangote did not say that thing, nobody will know. So it says a lot, you know. So those are some of my thoughts. My parents, I thank God. I was just saying to myself that imagine if my parents were not alive. Can you imagine my parents were not alive to come and say, ah, no, ọmọ mi nìyẹn. Imagine if they're not alive. But thank God, my parents are alive. My father is alive. My mother is alive. They've done an interview, fantastic, beautiful interview, where they talk about when they met, what year I was born, the hospital I was born. And my parents, they are very good. They keep a lot of record. So even their patient card, you know your card when you go to hospital, they even have it. Birth certificate, everything. So you will not hear any story that, oh, something happened to all my documents. And so I'm swearing affidavit. No, we have all the original documents, you know. And they put out an interview and they've talked about it and everything. And, you know, I think after some time, if you want to continue lying when two people have come and say this is our child, then you are a very stupid person. So I don't see that happening. But you know, even if they want to bring it out, we'll just put that interview out. So that's it. By God's grace, you know. It's Orobi. Orobi. Yes. And if you and it's not even hard to find. If you go on Google and just say Orobi Roads. All my uncles at the point just before they died, they changed their name Orobi Roads, right? And that's how they used to go by. If same thing with Ogumade. Ogumade is one of the ruling families in Lagos State. If you go, if you go to the streets that are named after them, you see Ogumade Davis. So that's the interesting thing with Lagos families. Like their names tell a lot of story and a lot of history. It's a very, very painful thing. It's very, very sad. And a lot of people might not fully appreciate how deep this thing is. So I'm going to try and explain and break it down. First, Lagos State Assembly is not just any assembly. Lagos State politics is not just any politics. Between 1900 and 1950, there was no politics in Nigeria outside Lagos. All the politics of Nigeria happened in Lagos. So Lagos State has started its politics before, in terms of this contemporary politics, before any other state in Nigeria. Everybody will come from all over Nigeria to talk their matter in Lagos State between that time. So that's the history of this contemporary politics that we have. Then it was painful to see elected state assembly members be be defiled and disgraced the way the electorate were disgraced in 2023. Because you saw a situation where people that have a voice, they want to express their votes democratically. But then somebody else is saying, no, I have the final say. And I will use force, I will use violence, I'll use intimidation. You, the people, you cannot have your say. Me, the one man, I have my say over you, the people. And that is a coup. It is not a democracy anymore, right? Because democracy, power You either get power through the barrel of a gun or through the ballot box. But now in Lagos State, they are doing something that is in the middle, where you have the pretending process of electioneering, but then somebody else is using force to come and get what they want. The DSS said that it's not them that invaded the state assembly. I'm sure you might have seen a lot of news channels and people came out to apologize to DSS that they said they're not the ones. So who are those people that came? Nobody has answered that question. Who are those people that came with gun into the state assembly? Nobody has answered that question. They said they found guns in that place that are linked to Obasa, the speaker, Honorable Obasa. What investigation has been done to the legality of that stockpile of weapons? And why is a stockpile of weapons being stored at the state assembly? Nobody has answered that question. These people came together and said they are removing him. A majority. This is a man that has been speaker for over 10 years. A majority of people came and said that they are removing him because of financial misappropriation. One of those things was using 17 billion naira to build a gate. A gate, too. That gate is not carrying you to heaven. It's not bringing you from hell. It's not bringing your people you might have lost back from somewhere. It's just a gate for you to drive your car to 17 billion. And people are not eating in this Lagos. People are not eating. People cannot eat 3 times a day now. The people that eat one meal today eat the next meal the next day. They are spending 17 billion on a gate, and there's no investigation. They say it is a family affair. Meanwhile, that same family affair is the most expensive state assembly in Nigeria. 128 billion. 124, 128 billion is their budget. It's the largest budget in Nigeria. The one that comes after that is Plateau, which is about 46 or 47 billion. So Lagos State Assembly, their budget is 5 states combined. That's what they're calling family affair. Family affair that they're not paying for. That we, the citizen, is paying for. So you pay all that money and this is what you get. I was proud of the State Assembly for standing their ground. The first time that this invasion by unknown gunmen came into the State Assembly. The second time when Honorable Obasa came again, they stood their ground. They went to court. They stood their ground. That is what democracy is supposed to be. We did not say we are going to vote for a rubber stamp for people that will just say, yes, the Godfather said something and they are going to do it. We voted for people that will fight for our interest, not the Godfather's interest. It's very sad to see them turn around and bring back this man. But it also shows Lagos State that these people they are workers for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They are his workers. They are not our representatives. They are his workers. He he uses them to maintain his hold on Lagos State. That's what they are not there to make your life better. They are there so that he can continue to control Lagos State. All the stealing that they are doing will continue to be under the cover. All the suffering that people are suffering will continue to be there. And I tell people, see, you might not like Gbadebo. It's okay. Not everybody does not have to like Gbadebo. But I want you to like yourself. I want you to love yourself. I want you to love yourself to the point where you want your children to go to a good school. Can someone send his children to the school that he went to as a child? Can someone go back to Saleko and open the tap that he used to open when he was a child? Can Bola Ahmed Tinubu go back to Saleko and open the tap that water was flowing when he was a child from Water Corporation? If any of them can do it, I will not contest for governor again. We are surrounded by water, yet everybody has to dig borehole. I tell people, as far back as 1910, Lagosians were protesting when they wanted to increase their water bill. That is how far back we had the Water Corporation. Today, Water Corporation itself does not have water. It's not a joke. I can tell you the name of water corporation. Water corporation in Anifoshi. The water corporation is here. One of my father's houses is here. My auntie's house is here. The borehole broke in this house. He said, instead of installing another borehole, let us just go to water corporation, connect to them, and them supplying us water. We went there. They said they don't have water. That's the Lagos we are living in. So, if your state assembly members, their only means of survival is just by doing what Oga at the top says, then you don't have anybody that's fighting for your interests. So I want Lagosians to love themselves. Your children deserve good education. Look at how Alhaji Jakonde developed Lagos in 4.5 years. I'm sure he was not perfect. I'm sure people have the criticism that they have of him. But nobody can deny his impact in education. Nobody can deny his impact in healthcare. Nobody can deny how he opened Ojo, even this Lekki axis, all the places he opened. Nobody can deny if Buhari did not stop his train plans, we will not have a functional train system in Lagos today. But these people are taking 16 years to build 16 kilometers of road and they want you to clap for them. No. I want, let us love ourselves. We deserve good government. Let us not every election season, because we are talking about election. We just spoke about election that was going to come. Every election season, they enter our brain and say, oh, this person does not speak Yoruba. This person does not speak Yoruba well. This no. After election, when you are by yourself with your children and the suffering is continuing, how is that helping your life? Sorry. So, and when I talk about that, you need government that will return the days of free education, good education, not nonsense education, good education that will make sure that your children, when they go to school, they eat good food for free. Because that's the only way that we are going to get more people to go into school and get a good education. Those are the things that we need to be fighting for. Those are the things that I will do as governor by God's grace. I feel that the 2023 election, the young people stood up in a way I've never seen in my life. I started in politics in 2016 when I ran for Ikeja local government chairman. After that, I ran for Senate in 2019 in PDP. The way young people came out in 2023 does not happen in Lagos. It was not about you giving them money. They wanted a change. They wanted a better Nigeria. They wanted something new. They wanted something different. You see where a woman, they stab her eye, she still came and voted. You see young people that Labour Party did not have polling unit agents, they became the polling unit agents. They stood, they waited. You saw in Oniru, they from, I will not, for some thugs came out, beat them, chased them away. They went, they came back to vote, not to fight. So I'm very proud of the young people of Lagos State. My prayer is that their fathers, their mothers also understand that their future, the future of their children matters. It's their children that are going to live in the Nigeria and the Lagos that we are building today. So they should not just think about themselves, let them also think about the future of their children, their grandchildren. That's the first part. The second part of your question about Sheikh Tinubu, there are three ways of looking at this thing. Sheikh Tinubu is a young man. If I don't think if he seniors me maybe by 2 years or maybe by 1 year, almost the same age. So if it's by young people running, that's fine. Lagos indigenes will say it's time to have an indigene of Lagos as governor, and not just an indigene of Lagos. Because when you say an indigene of Lagos, we're talking about Lagos State, not just the island of Lagos, right? We have Badagry, we have Ekpe, we have several parts of Lagos State. So, an indigene of Lagos State, Omo Eku Pataki, proper Omo to be at the helm of affairs of Lagos State. That's one aspect that they feel. But for me, there's a deeper issue here. Me, I cannot imagine that my father is president. People are hungry. People are suffering in a way that they've never suffered before. And that is the time that me, his son, say I want to be governor. He says two things. One, I don't care about the suffering that people are suffering under my father. I don't have empathy. I don't have compassion. My ambition is bigger than all of those feelings, and I have no shame. That's what he says to me. It's like if your father is beating a child in a way that that child does not deserve to be beaten, the child is innocent. Then you come and say to that child that Oga, is me that's going to be giving you your biscuit every morning. Think about, are you understanding what I'm trying to break it down in a way that people understand? It is insulting. Nigerians are suffering in a way that they've never suffered before. At this point in time, you should be calm your ambition down. When Nigerians are happy, if for instance Nigerians were, I remember when Obasanjo was president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo was president. I was in America at the time, and all of us wanted to move back. We were afraid that if we don't come back, we'll be missing something. Nigeria was buzzing, everything, everybody wanted to come back to Nigeria. If at that time, Olusegun Obasanjo's son, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo's son, said he wanted to run for governor of Ogun State, nobody will say anything. Why not? Bring the blessing that your father has brought to us at the top to our state. Bring it down. What is it that they want to bring now? Oh, you want to continue the legacy of Alpha Beta. You want to continue the suffering that we are suffering in Lagos State. Is that the thing you want to bring down? How is it that the president will drive his car through Lagos Island and people are shouting Egbin power, and you don't even feel shame? Now you're like, now it's time for me to go. I don't. People are different. They did not raise me like that. So how they raise him in his house, if that's how they raise him, that's fine. It's up to the people of Lagos to decide how or who they want to lead them. If there's a fair and fair election, and that's going to be a problem, because no politician in Lagos State believes that there will be fair and fair election in Lagos State. And we're ready for it.